Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Example Play. Today, I'm going to do kind of a first look at ZEPHON. This is a strategy game from Proxy Studios. They are best known to me for making Pandora First Contact and Gladius Relics of War. Um, Pandora came out like 10 years ago, and it was sort of at the time Civilization Beyond Earth came out around the same time, and they were kind of the indie alternative to that, sort of a successor or a spiritual successor to Alpha Centauri from way back in the day. And I liked Pandora. It got kind of mixed reviews, is okay. But for what it was, I really liked it. It let you do a lot of fun things with like customizing your units and doing sort of a civilization in a sci-fi setting. And then they did more recently Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, which was like a civilization but Warhammer 40k. And as you can imagine, that stripped out a lot of the diplomacy and the uh, empire building. A lot of the stuff in Civilization that doesn't have to do with war directly is mostly stripped out of that game, and it's much more focused on the combat, building units, researching new units, kind of just getting right to the juicy war stuff. Given it's Warhammer 40k, makes sense. And I really liked that game, and they kept making new content for it for quite a while. I think just about every major race there is in that game now. So I highly recommend that one. That's fun if you're looking for kind of Civilization 5 or 6, but with just a huge focus on the war part. And the units are much more detailed. There's lots of different techs you can research to like power up different units in different ways, and it's very fast paced. It's kind of like, in my mind, it's sort of like an arena or battle royale version of a Civ game, where you're just kind of immediately fighting over the map more so than anything else. But anyway, that's their previous stuff. They were with Slytherin as their publisher through those games, but now they're kind of out on their own, I guess, doing their own thing. And they're making their new game ZEPHON, which is, if you when you see it, if you play those other games, it looks pretty similar. Not a huge shift in what kind of game it is, but the setting is what's really cool about this game to me. So this is a post-apocalyptic 4X strategy game that has elements of eldritch horror and cyberpunk monstrosities, is how they describe it. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. Basically, we're in a eldritch horror post-apocalypse scenario, trying to survive and I don't know, reclaim the world for humanity. Sounds pretty cool. This is demo 6, so this is like an alpha demo. I think the game's not expected to come out till later, like quarter 3 of this year. So it's still a little ways out, but I wanted to just try the demo and do just kind of like a first impressions, just a first look video. Thought that would be kind of fun to do. And so I've not played this at all. I've seen the screenshots and a couple of videos, but this is my first time actually playing, so just take that in mind. But I have played Gladius before, which I feel like this is going to be kind of similar, basic structure. Everything here looks kind of sort of familiar UI wise. So let's see. We can have, we'll keep it simple. Let's go with the default settings here. This demo is limited. I think it does have multiplayer, but it's kind of limited in scope, as you'd imagine, but does let you kind of play around. So we can be, there's different leaders. Are there different factions? Or are we all, I guess maybe we're all human. I guess there's not different factions, but there's different leaders, so that kind of changes what your faction is. Okay. Versus like Gladius, where there's like different, Warhammer 40k, you had like totally different races you could play as. Fallen Soldier is what it defaulted to. I don't know if that's because it's the simplest to play. Gladius, one thing I liked on it kind of gave you a rating of how complicated playing the different races was. But I don't know. We'll go with Fallen Soldier. That's what it defaulted to. Let's see. We have Human Affinity. So we're sworn to protect humans from all the craziness going on. Your units regenerate health. Military background. Start with a better unit. unit upkeep is increased. I guess it's kind of like they have stronger units, but they cost more. And then you can spend influence, increase experience of units. So, okay. Well, we won't go too far into that. We're just going to pick him and go with, those are kind of some of our perks here. There's quite a few other leaders we could take. Some aren't in the demo yet. The Honorable Aristocrat, the Heartless Artificer, the Furtive Tribunal, or the Emulated Mind. Very creative sounding names. Really, the Fallen Soldiers kind of seems like the most straightforward of those options. But we'll go with that, and then we'll see what the other ones, we'll just let them be random. Sure, medium difficulty. We'll leave all that on default since this is my first time playing. Like I said, I've never even fired this demo up before now.
We were not ready for their divine judgment. We were tested, and almost everyone just failed. Their dark mysticism shattered an era of enlightenment and ushered in the dusk of the 21st century.
Okay, let's, oh yeah, creepy.
Billions of lives
That's
were lost.
eldritch horror in cyberpunk for sure.
Turned to ash.
Reminds me of Death Stranding there a little bit with the bodies or ghosts kind of floating in the air.
Our soldiers were gone, but our weapons kept fighting, driven by an enigma in the networks. Their surviving forces.
I love this art.
If
you ever did the concept art for this, really cool.
Became bystanders to a relentless.
Kind of the only other game I think of that, or the game that jumps to my mind when I think of eldritch horror,
is an ever-twisting
sci-fi,
nightmare.
Post-apocalyptic is like Phoenix Point. The sort of alternative to XCOM, or the newer XCOMs. That game, I liked it. It's kind of mixed reviews, but I love the setting of that. This reminds me kind of that. This might be even more freaky than that one is.
From this trial. Reclaim our world.
Alright, so things
for mankind.
Not going good in the future. Alright, so let's see what we got. It is definitely a wasteland out there. So yeah, if you've played Gladius, this is going to look very familiar, though it looks a little bit more detailed, a little smoother. It's been, they've had another six or so years since that game came out to make their engine better. Though it definitely will look familiar. Doesn't have the WASD camera controls. I always like that, but we got kind of mouse drag, so that's okay. Alright, so we're going to select
we can't stay here.
This Outrider. Looks like a little light scout vehicle, probably. Move once per turn.
Shifting gears.
It is looking rough out there.
This isn't the world I knew.
We got a volcano. We got some kind of bleed. Yeah, pretty rough out there in the post-apocalypse. Guess we'll scout around a little. We got some militants here, just I guess some basic soldier guys, some engineers that are probably going to be our. Okay, so they can found our first city. So let's see, what other stuff can our engineers do? They can terraform, so I guess that probably lets you, yeah, build roads, clear tiles, probably build other stuff as we go. I can found the city, so it's suggesting right here, sure, why not?
Let's build something great here. I'm not dying today.
Yeah, so this definitely feels very much like Gladius, probably just new and improved. Alright, so we'll build a barracks, that'll let us build more units. And then we build it within our city there, okay. And we got a variety of resources, food, minerals, energy, algae, chips, influence, and research. Okay, so quite a few resources to deal with. can't remember Gladius. You did have resources, and every faction kind of had like their own special couple resource or two that they messed with. I can't remember if there were this many resources, but maybe there were. Let's see what's this. The infected scar. Sounds very scenic. It gives us extra algae, and units heal faster while they're standing there. Okay, sure. We go over here, a watchtower. That seems like that would be good to capture. Gives us line of sight. Yeah, gives us some nice line of sight and some research and influence. So yeah, let's go capture that thing. And that was one thing I liked in Gladius was, yeah, the map is like covered with these little points of interest that if you control them, they give you some kind of bonus that's unique. Okay, and then here also we got a cyber cache, gives us some kind of reward, so we'll grab that. Alright, so that gave us some free research, which that's the next item on our agenda. Alright, so the research tree, let's check it out. And since this is the demo, yeah, you can only go to like the first few tiers. Yeah, a lot of the higher tier stuff is locked in the demo, so but we won't get there today anyway. Mostly this is just kind of first look, just play around with it. And so yeah, we have a whole bunch of options. We got to research 3 previous technologies to get to tier 2. So we can pick from any of these. That's a lot of choices. I won't dig through all of them here, but let's just see. So we can get a commander. That's like a hero unit to support our infantry. That might be a good early choice since before we get other stuff going. Automated factory can produce more outriders and other stuff later. Research lab. Yeah, it seems like a good thing to get early on. We'll research. I usually like that. Better research first thing. Alright, we've identified some busters. So these look like some Mad Max kind of post-apocalyptic dudes hanging out in crazy armor. And then yeah, like in Gladius, units have quite a few stats. They got armor and hit points. They got morale, they got movement, how many actions they can do. These guys have incendiary grenades. Let's see what do our guys have. So our militants here, just comparing. So our militants have the same armor. Their group is a little bit bigger. They have a little more health, a little more morale. So our basic militants are a little bit better than these guys, but we don't have a grenade or anything. Oh yeah, and then the unit has traits. So yeah, units have, you can see like what kind of weapon they have, which armor piercing, the big thing for this engine. But this early on, hopefully we're not too worried about that. And then kind of the traits of this unit. So they have like that higher unit upkeep because of our faction, our leader, but they regenerate health every turn. They're biological. They're in this outpost, which gives them a bunch of bonuses. So, alright.
This isn't the world I knew.
Let's end our turn, see what happens. Alright, we're still building that barracks there.
Can't stay here.
We'll send this outrider
Let's make some new roads.
this way.
This isn't the world I knew. We'll make it through. We have to.
Alphaville. Let's see. That is. We got a forest over there. Maybe there's something there. Let's grab that cache. See what we get.
We have to.
Alright, so let's see. That gave us something totally different. That first one gave us research. This one gives us the Concordat. Oh, the Concordat is a place where we can bind some resources. Maybe that's like, that's what that is right there. We just can't quite see it. We gained a Chaot Crossspec? What's that? So it can scan things, and I guess its main use is that we can spray it at an enemy. It shines lasers at an enemy, gives them blinded, reduces their accuracy. Okay.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Do they have that? Maybe it has to be equipped. Okay, so a hero can equip it. You can sell it or equip it onto a hero, but we don't have any heroes yet. Flesh tree. That doesn't sound very appealing at all, but it gives us food for our city. Meat harvest. Post-apocalyptic eldritch horror for sure. A flesh tree that you can harvest meat from to feed your city. Alright, what are these guys? Akron
Ready for
remnants.
whatever's out there.
Alright, so Akron remnants. Yeah. More survivors of the post-apocalypse that are, yeah, kind of scary looking. They got some kind of guns. They got an extra arm. Alright.
Looking for something?
Now these are probably just, yeah, these are neutral. These are just like barbarians sort of just wandering around the map.
Let's make some new roads.
Oop, they shot at us just for rolling up on
Ready
them.
for whatever's out there. One for the road, two for the grave.
I'm not dying today.
Alright, so our first little combat. And then what else is over here? Abcluths. Some kind of, yeah, I'll let you describe those however you want. Definitely some interesting creature designs going on.
The world I knew. Okay.
And we're still working on this barracks. Gonna take a few more turns, looks like. Or is it built now? Ah, oops. Maybe that was the wrong. Okay, so that was my fault. Clicked on that, that canceled construction of that. Takes 6 turns to build.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
Alright, so we gained some energy. Right now all our resources are either positive or neutral. And like I said, this is my first time playing, so I'm mostly just kind of exploring the game. I don't really know what the best strategy is here.
Looking for something?
Okay, so we finished researching research lab. And then, so kind of the way it worked in Gladius, I assume it's the same here. You can, yeah, so like our construction yard can construct one building at a time, and then like once we get this barracks built, then there'll be another tab here for the barracks where you'll be able to construct infantry from it, and then there's all these other things. But we have to wait for that barracks to get done, and then our headquarters can build heroes and generates resources. But so our next thing is we could research.
I'm not dying today.
Oh, let's see, close quarters fire. Oh, so these guys, so up close they're gonna do more. They could fire from here, but they'll do more damage from up close.
Okay.
But we might
Weapons
just
free.
let them shoot from there. They're in a more defense. When they're in one of these locations, they have better stats in defense. So we might just let them hang out there.
We can't stay here.
There we go. Gun down some of those dudes.
On it.
Get another flesh tree. Lots of enemies out here.
Get 'em.
So it's definitely one of those games where you have to kind of balance between how fast I want to expand with my weak little starting units, group them together, spread them out. I can't build anything else just yet. We could research the commander, and that would give us a hero unit. That might be good. Let's play a few more turns here. Ooh, these guys, they're kind of surrounded by whatever these demon monster things are.
I'm not dying today.
Alright, we have an incoming call from ZEPHON. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what ZEPHON is. Maybe we're about to find out. So some kind of AI thing. It's going to give us a goal, or maybe this is one of the other... No, this isn't another faction. This is ZEPHON. It's its own thing, I guess. We've downgraded us to irritating. Okay. So do we accept peace with ZEPHON? Do we reject peace, or do we demand payment for a deal? Okay. We'll take peace for now since we don't know what's going on. Now, I could sit here and keep fighting with these guys, but I think I'm going to send my Outrider up here to help out those infantry, or they're going to get wiped out.
This isn't the world I knew.
And these guys are going to... Ooh, what is that thing? A warden. This... Okay, oh, okay, so maybe this is why we contacted from ZEPHON. This is a ZEPHON unit. And it looks like a big, scary, post-apocalyptic robot thing. Okay, so these guys are neutral, but this is ZEPHON, but ZEPHON is separate from the other human factions. I guess all the humans are, like all the other factions are human, but they have different leaders, so they're kind of like different groups of survivors that we haven't run into yet. And then ZEPHON is maybe like the boss AI thing. I don't know. That's interesting that we could make peace with it right away or reject peace. And then I'm sure that kind of plays out over the course of the map. And this, yeah, the map is about this big. There's 2 other factions out there. Of course, we could scale it up, you know, where you had way more players on a bigger map. But I'm kind of playing just a little medium to start here. Interesting.
This isn't the world I knew.
Population grew here, so that's good. Yeah, those guys not doing so hot. A little bit overexposed.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore. Weapons free!
Shifting gears. Get some lead in them.
Alright, maybe we can take out one of those, then the other one team up against those guys, and then these seem to be kind of just in a stagnant battle here. I do like that, kind of like the turn by turn goes pretty fast, but the combat can be drawn out, especially here where like neither side really has an advantage. Whereas here it was 2-1, so those guys were going to die, but maybe my Outriders got there in time to save them. Let's do just kind of one more turn. Hang in there, boys.
Ain't no such thing as safe anymore.
And you can do Overwatch, so they would like shoot at enemies that approach if they didn't use their attack.
Kill 'em before they kill us!
Looking for something?
Okay, so got that down to just one unit
Be the
of
last of 'em.
Abcluth horrors.
I'm not dying today.
These guys just keep duking it out. Maybe we'll kill off those busters eventually. So, yep. So this is ZEPHON. Just like I said, this was just kind of, I just wanted to take a first look at this demo. I might come back and play a more full scenario and
This isn't the world I knew.
kind of cut up parts of it to see the more advanced parts later. Alright, let's see, transports. So these guys could hop in the Outrider and go for a ride. That's, I did not realize that at first.
No turning back.
This isn't the world I knew.
And I like the graphics. It's, yeah, basically like Gladius, but a little bit prettier, a little smoother. The sound effects are pretty decent. The world is obviously like really interesting to look at. Definitely not just your standard Civ world. Like, it is chaotic and crazy looking out there. I wonder if later you get text that can kind of like improve the world around you. Because I had those engineers at the beginning, didn't I? Where did they go? I don't know. Lost track of them. But oh, maybe you need the engineers to build stuff? Not sure. I'll figure that all out and probably do another video where I understand the game a little bit better and maybe jump to some of the like mid or late game stuff as well. We're getting another call from ZEPHON. Let's see what it has to say now. So we could accept a gift from ZEPHON or reject the gift. We're being cooperative, so we'll take the gift from ZEPHON and see what's it going to give us. Our efforts have resulted in a great reward. And we could still reject it after seeing. They're going to give us some stuff, but I'm guessing interesting. You could say come back when you've thought more about what I'm worth. So we could do all kinds of stuff with ZEPHON. Gifts, map sharing. That's interesting. I wonder where that goes. Like, so in Gladius, each faction had sort of like a quest. You were playing this sort of simple, or well, I say simple, war-focused version of Civ. But you also got quests depending on which faction you were playing as the scenario played out. So you would have to do different kinds of things, and so it gave you kind of these objectives that were always pretty much the same depending on which faction you were, but they were kind of dynamic in that where they appeared on the map and everything. And so you had this sort of single player quest stuff that you were doing while also fighting against the other factions, so that always kept it interesting. So here I guess, yeah, this ZEPHON thing is like, I don't know, this AI that obviously has something to do with the apocalypse, and we can interact with it, we can cooperate with it, we can fight with it. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in a full game, as well as how you interact with the other factions. And then the neutral units on the map, which are these, yeah, like Mad Max looking dudes or eldritch horrors that are wandering around trying to kill you. And then as you explore the map, we'll see what other stuff, like the flesh tree, pretty interesting, and what other stuff we find as we go out there. And then meet the other factions, build more cities, build roads, research more stuff. So anyway, that is a first look at ZEPHON. I didn't want to go too far into it, just wanted to try it out for myself and let you see it. I know this demo has been out for a little while, but I just realized the game had a demo. I'd had my eye on it for a while, but I didn't realize there was a demo available. So anyway, pretty cool to play, especially if you played Gladius before. You could jump right into this and start playing, even though it might not be, you know, some of the stuff is a little bit different. A lot of it is pretty similar. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time on Example of Play. Oh, and, you know, like and subscribe if you want. Thanks. Bye.